The second process that we have in the project cost management is called determine budget. For determining budget, we need to get the cost baseline. And the cost baseline represents the approved version of the time-phased project budget. What does that mean? That means after we estimated all the activities of the project, then we have something called the cost baseline. And the cost baseline we will explain about it in this chart. If we have all the activity cost estimates, we add the activity contingency reserve. So here, this is the original amount that we estimated for each activity. And then we add the activity contingency reserves to it. And then we have, first of all, we have the work package cost estimates. So in this in this work package, we can estimate that it is going to cost like this. What does that mean in example? For example, if we have an activity or a list of activities that are included in a project of building a hospital, for example, then we have a hierarchy of the work that is going to be done, which is the WBS. In the work breakdown structure, WBS, we have different work packages that we are going to do. So, for example, if we have the work package of doing the electrical works, and then we have the activities of the electrical works, like maybe putting the wires, putting the lamps, putting the first fix, second fix, this kind of activities. So for each activity, we have activity contingency reserves. And then the sum of all of those is called the work package cost estimate. And then we have the contingency reserves on the work package level. So if we are saying that this is the activity contingency reserves that are directly linked to the activities, we have other kind of contingency reserves which is linked to the work package itself. So if this one is linked, let's say if this one talk about the increase of steel price, for example, then it is linked to the activity itself. But this one talks about the risk of delay in the whole electrical works. So this is a contingency reserve on the work package level. And those together represent the cost baseline. So the cost baseline for us is the sum of all work packages with their contingency reserves. And the work package, like we said, is the sum of all activity or each work package activity and the contingency reserves on that activity itself. And then beside the cost baseline, we have the management reserves. We talked about the difference between contingency reserves and management reserves before. In short, the contingency reserves is the amount of money I put for the known risks, but the management reserves is the amount of money that I put for the unknown risks. For example, this one is for the snow that I know that it is probably going to happen in January. And this one is probably for the things that I don't know in the project, like, for example, changing the price of currency comparing to other currencies. And then those together, the cost baseline and the management reserves together represent the project budget. So this is the part of determining budget or the process of determining budget in details. The budget is the cost baseline plus the management reserve, and the cost baseline will represent all the work packages plus the contingency reserves. So what is the cost baseline for us? In the day zero of the project, we have the cost baseline is same as the project budget because we didn't use any of the management reserves yet, so we don't have any amount of the management reserve that moved to here yet. So all of this will be the project budget. But then it is time phased, which means that it is not only the amount of money that I'm going to spend, but it is the amount of money that I'm going to spend distributed into time. So this is the time-phased project budget means. And it is used as basis of comparison. What does that mean? That means if I am going to execute this project in the future, after a few months from working, then I need to compare my cost to the cost baseline. That is why it is called the baseline.